Have you ever tried to learn a really massive, complex subject? Something with hundreds of interconnected ideas? It can feel completely overwhelming. You read one thing, and that references three others, and then all of a sudden you're just lost in this fog of information.
You know that feeling? Well, this quote from our source material just nails it. It's that moment you realize the sheer scale of what you're trying to learn is it's too much to hold in your head at once. It honestly feels like you're trying to drink from a fire hose.
So that's the big question, isn't it? How do you tackle a topic like dementia, which pulls in everything from neuroscience to diagnostics to treatments and ethical issues, all tangled up together? How on earth can you map that kind of complexity so that it actually makes sense? Well, today, we're going to look at an AI that was built to do exactly that.
So instead of having a team of people spend months, or maybe even years, trying to chart out this territory, the solution we're looking at is an AI that acts like a master knowledge architect. Its whole job is to take a giant mountain of information and turn it into a structured, easy-to-navigate map.
And when you put the old way next to the new way, the difference is it's night and day. The traditional manual method for creating this kind of knowledge structure is incredibly slow and super expensive. It takes a whole team of experts, and what you get at the end is static. The AI architect, though, it's lightning fast, it's fully automated, and it creates an interactive map that you can actually explore.
And if you want to put a number on it, get this. According to the source, a project to manually build a similar knowledge map was estimated to cost $500,000 and take up to a full year. This AI gets the foundational work done in just a fraction of that time and cost. It's wild.
So how does it actually pull this off? It's not just some black box magic. The AI follows a really clear 5-step blueprint to build its knowledge map. It moves logically from just raw data to this beautiful, intuitive visualization. So let's break down that process.
Okay, so here are the 5 core steps the AI takes. First, it ingests the source material. Then it identifies all the individual concepts. After that, it finds the most foundational ones, maps out how they all depend on each other, and finally, it creates a visual taxonomy to organize the whole thing.
Everything, and I mean everything, starts right here. The quality of that final map is completely dependent on the quality of the stuff you feed it at the beginning. The source calls a good detailed course description the steering of the boat. And that's perfect, right? Because if you get this part wrong, even by just a few degrees, you end up way, way off course.
So in step 2, the AI takes that initial description and starts pulling out all the core concepts. For a subject as huge as dementia, it managed to break the entire field down into 200 distinct fundamental ideas. These become the actual building blocks for the entire knowledge map.
Okay, now this is where it gets really fascinating. For step 3, the AI analyzes all 200 of those concepts, and it figures out which ones are truly foundational. And in this case, it found just 4. These are the absolute must-know ideas. If you don't get these 4 down first, the other 196 concepts just won't make sense. It's all about building on a solid base.
All right, so the whole point of step 4 is to create a logical learning path. The AI builds something called a directed acyclic graph. I know, it's a fancy term, but it simply means it maps out which concepts you have to know before you can understand the next ones. This is absolutely crucial because it stops the map from turning into what the source calls a hairball, a confusing mess where you have no idea where to even start.
And finally, in step 5, the AI kind of becomes a designer. It groups related concepts into these neat clusters, like putting all the legal issues together or all the different types of therapies in another group. It gives each cluster its own color, about 12 of them in total, which is a number specifically chosen so our brains can easily tell them apart. It even makes sure that groups are visually balanced for clarity. Pretty smart.
So, after all that work happening behind the scenes, the ingesting, the mapping, the coloring, we finally get to see the final product. Let's take a look at what this whole complex process actually built.
I love this quote from the source because it really captures that aha moment. After watching the AI work through all those logical steps, seeing the final complete map of knowledge just appear, it's incredibly satisfying. It's the moment the fog finally clears.
And here it is, the structure of the dementia knowledge graph. Each major topic gets its own color. So, neuroscience is green. The different types of dementias are yellow. Diagnosis is blue, and so on. Right away, you can see the major pillars of the subject, and you can start to explore how they all connect.
So why does all this matter? I mean, this isn't just a cool visualization for one topic. This AI architect really represents a fundamentally new way to approach learning itself. It's a tool that you can point at pretty much any complex domain.
This quote really drives home the potential here. The creator of this AI says they could create a similar map for autism in just 6 weeks, or prenatal care, or physics. As long as there's good source material to kick things off, the AI is ready to build a map for any subject. The speed and the adaptability are they're revolutionary.
And that leaves us with one last big thought. We now have a tool that can take the most intimidatingly complex subjects out there and make them understandable, navigatable, and visual. So if you could point this AI architect at any topic in the world, what tangled hairball of a subject would you want it to unravel for you?